The High Court has dismissed an attempt to interdict the ANC Mangaung Regional Conference in the Free State. It's now expected to go ahead as planned, but disgruntled members are now not backing down and are planning to hold their own parallel conference. eNCA's Moloko Moloto is in Bloemfontein and joins us now with the latest. And Moloko, it's extraordinary that the conference that you are attending today is the first ANC Mangaung Regional Conference since 2012. 10 years ago, Moloko, I don't know. It's just extraordinary.
So, Tula Sizwe, this speaks to the depth of challenges in this province of the Free State. Since the structure, the Provincial Executive Committee was disbanded in 2012, there has not been a provincial executive or elective provincial congress, neither there has been a regional elective congress. It's only now that this Mangaung Regional Congress ought to be a watershed congress. Of the 5 regions, this one is supposed to be taking place tomorrow. Today, I beg pardon, and tomorrow the one of Lijwaliputswa, which includes the town of Velgom, is supposed to take off. But as this one is taking place today, of course, this is after the High Court in Bloemfontein last night gave it the thumbs up to proceed after disgruntled members of the party went to court seeking an urgent interdict. Now, what the disgruntled members did was that this morning, instead of them coming to join this particular congress, they decided to hold their parallel congress. It started at one hotel in Bloemfontein, and I'm told that they were told that they cannot hold it there. They have now moved on to another hotel where I am told they will be starting with the election of what they believe are the regional leaders of Mangaung. But let us get to speak to Mr. Lawrence Matare. He is the interim convener, or the convener of the interim structure here in Mangaung. Sir, as you are preparing to hold this conference, which the court last night said you can go ahead with, in the CBD in Bloemfontein, your members are busy with another parallel conference, and they say it is the legitimate one. Is that a concern to you?
It is unfortunate that we have had to delay conference yesterday because the same members had approached the court on an urgent basis with a view to stop the proceedings of the conference. Yesterday we had to present ourselves to the court and defend, and finally the court ruled in our favor that all the disputes that were presented and all the allegations presented before the court did not stand the test of legality. So we are today because this morning we had to go into an extended IPC meeting together with NEC employees deployed to the province. And I'm happy to announce that after lengthy discussions, we have been given thumbs up by the interim provincial committee to proceed with this conference.
Let us talk about some of the disputes which they were raising. For instance, in some instances they are saying people who were out of the province during those branch general meetings apparently signed. And in some instances they are saying people who are dead also attended branch general meetings. Surely that can be correct?
No, it can be correct. I'm going to cite one example. The first applicant who approached court yesterday is from Ward 27. He had deposed a dispute with a branch, but the branch, having looked carefully on the nature and content of the dispute, they dismissed the dispute. He later had the opportunity to approach the Provincial Dispute Resolution Committee, which upheld the decision by the branch. He later went to the National Dispute Resolution Committee, and the National Dispute Resolution Committee upheld both the decisions of the province as well as...
Fair enough, but speak to this one of a dead person attending a meeting, supposedly.
I have no clue with regard to that. They had the opportunity to present that before the court, and court found in our favor yesterday. In fact, it found in the favor of the branch which sat on that day. So it's neither here nor there. That branch executive committee or the outcomes of the BBGM are duly recognized.
Unity is what you have always been talking about as the ANC structures, and you had to come and resuscitate the branches. Have you achieved in uniting the rank and file of the African National Congress as leaders?
A solid foundation has been laid over the past 13 months during our term of office. A lot more still needs to be done to unite and build a vibrant ANC. We cannot be happy to lead a fragmented and fractured ANC. So as we would be sitting today, amongst many challenges that we face is to amplify the call for unity and renewal. And that, as I'm saying, a lot more still needs to be done. But I'm happy to announce that at least a foundation has been laid. We have now proper structures elected by members in their respective branches. And we are happy that those branches can help us to prosecute the struggle to unite and rebuild a stronger and much more united ANC.
All right. You, as the ANC, will be going for the national conference in Johannesburg in the coming week or so. We know the incumbent President Cyril Ramaphosa is being supported by Mxolisi Dukwana, who is the provincial convener of the ANC here. He did say that he supports Ramaphosa. And I understand that you, in this here, you also support Mr. Dukwana as delegates who are in this official conference. I'm told on the other side, those who are in town, they actually support Thabo Manyoni to become the provincial chairperson of the ANC, and they support Zweli Mkhize to become president of the ANC. In terms of the numbers, how confident are you that your preferred candidate, that is if you, Mr. Matare, also support President Cyril Ramaphosa, just how confident are you that he will emerge?
Well, with regard to our support of President Cyril Ramaphosa, I think it's common cause that nominations from different regions and provinces were made known to the public, and the majority of members of the province, including members in the region, have made their call for President Cyril Ramaphosa. Well, with regard to provincial nominations, yes, indeed, just the region we support Comrade Dukwana, but as we proceed with the conference, nominations will be open to the conference, and will determine how many of those branches within our region that have expressed their call for Dukwana to take over the reins of chairpersonship.
What's going to happen as we conclude to the members of the ANC who are currently holding a parallel conference? Because they do have people there, the sizable number of people who were there. Possibly even in branches, they have people who believe in their plight. How are you going to be navigating that particular conundrum?
As I said, we are from the IPC meeting. The IPC sent a stern warning to any member who is disgruntled, who has got the audacity to call a parallel conference. This is not how we do things. And as I indicated earlier, the IPC gave us a thumbs up to convene this conference. But it just does not end there. Those who will convene a parallel conference which will not be in line with the Provincial Executive Committee will really have to answer to the PEC.
Let's talk about finally this official conference. I understand you will be commencing any moment from now. Take us through what's going to be happening through the remainder of the day. Tomorrow, what's going to be happening in terms of the program?
In no time, we will open the conference. We will receive various messages of support from our alliance partners. We will then present a political report, but over and above, our provincial convener, Comrade Mxolisi Dukwana, will give us a message from the IPC. So immediately thereafter, we'll have a closed session where we'll consider our credentials and adopt them. And once we have done that, we will then be ready to proceed with the business of the conference. You would know that conference credentials are key in determining the success of the conference. So we'll take it from there once conference credentials have been adopted by delegates.
All right. Mr. Lawrence Matare, but I think I have a very important question for you. In Mangaung, in the metro, governance is problematic there. It's under administration, and I'm also hearing talks that there might be changes, removal of the mayor and all that. To an extent, the extent of divisions go to a point where the members of the ANC who are governing that metro, when they had to pass a budget, some of them voted against it to a point that they missed the deadline that's set by the National Treasury. How are you going to resolve those? Because seemingly these divisions within the party are now spilling over onto government.
Well, the ANC will not tolerate flagrant violation of organizational morality. We have expressed our view with regard to that because on a consistent pattern, there have been rampant incidents where certain councillors of the ANC would vote with the opposition. We have made recommendations to the IPC with regard to disciplinary actions that must be undertaken with a view to correct that situation. Surely we are not happy with the state of health of the municipality. Much needs to be done. There's been interventions, the provincial intervention in terms of administration. There's now a national intervention where the National Treasury and COGTA have been called upon to restore stability in the municipality. So we are hopeful that that intervention will go a long way.
Are you going to fire Executive Mayor Mxolisi Siyanda after this conference?
We will not fire Mxolisi Siyanda. A decision has been taken to restructure the Troika of Mangaung, the mayor, the deputy mayor, as well as the speaker. And once that decision has been taken, we are looking up to national officials to announce, because we have submitted 3 names as per their call, that submit 3 names so that we can make a determination among the 3 who becomes the mayor. So we are not firing anyone. We are recalling our members in order to promote stability within the municipality.
Mr. Lawrence Matare, he is the man in charge of that interim structure. He chairs it, and of course we're expecting that the business of this regional conference will get underway any moment from now. Hopefully we shall know who the new leaders are, and as we were saying earlier, Tula Sizwe, since 2012, this region hasn't had an elected leadership. Yeah. And this province also, since 2012, hasn't had an elected leadership. We are told that at the weekend, starting on Friday, there's going to be a provincial conference, and I understand that Mr. Mxolisi Siyanda are also with Mr. Thabo Manyoni, who was formerly the executive mayor of Mangaung, but also the premier, Sisi Ntombela, have an interest in taking up that top position of the ANC in the Free State.
Yeah, so a flurry of activity in the 11th hour in as far as the political calendar of the ANC is concerned. Thank you for that update, Moloko. By the way, I really enjoyed your guest's answer to the question of whether or not the mayor of Mangaung would be fired. It basically says we're not firing anyone. We're just recalling our members and restructuring the leadership of the metro. So the only thing he avoided there was to use the word fire. All right, thank you for that, Moloko Moloto, live for us in Mangaung there with an update as the regional conference is taking place there. Yeah, funny how these things can be expressed differently and actually mean exactly the same thing.